Alright, I'm going to be replacing this degaussing switch on that portacolor. This switch doesn't make good contact when you push it to this position. You're supposed to charge this capacitor, and those contacts just, I don't know if they're burned or what the problem is, but you got to really move it around. The contact's clearly messed up. I'll dissect it later, but anyway, I'll replace that. I'm also going to replace this capacitor. It's a 0.22 rated at 400 volts, which I find a little bit odd since it's charged with boost voltage, which is I think more like about 600 volts. Could be wrong about that, but I don't know. I don't like it. And but it is charged through a 1 meg resistor, so I doubt even if it had leakage it would cause any real problems. But I just don't like it. So I'll put a higher rated capacitor in there. I tested it. It doesn't leak. The capacity checks okay. I did compare it to a new capacitor, and the charging time was probably less than half for the new capacitor, which shows me that it's got a little bit more of a resistance, in the capacitor. It takes a little bit longer to achieve. Okay, and I've got one pop rivet already installed with the new switch. I'm getting ready to put the second pop rivet in right now. I had to put a little washer behind this cardboard face. What happened was when I pulled the pop rivet tight, it deformed this cardboard enough to where it interfered with the sliding action of the switch. The switch actually has a little black paper plate in there that's got to move freely along with this thing. And I assume all this is probably there to protect the user from getting access to the potentially hot chassis because of the way this thing doesn't use a power transformer, so one side of the chassis is hot, and I guess that's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm getting ready to hit it with the pop rivet gun, and then we'll be done. Okay, I've got it installed. Let me get a better light on it here. There's the, you can see the two little pop rivets. I've got the capacitor installed. That's a capacitor that stores the charge when you momentarily spring load push a switch. It charges the cap. It's a single pole double throw, and the way that works is the capacitor is attached to the center lug. So when you push it one direction, the capacitor gets the full boost, and then when you release, the capacitor dumps that boosted charge into this yellow wire, which goes up into this coil that goes around the CRT, and you get a degaussing effect. You can hear it go ding when you do it. So I know it's working. It's kind of a crude approach. I mean, that switch, you can hear it spark every time it does, so I'm not surprised that it's not a very good solution, but it is what it is. I was a little concerned because this switch that I put in was rated 125 volts, and like I said, the boost here is upwards of 600, so I thought, that doesn't seem very kosher. But I checked the switch that came out, and it was also 125 volts, so I guess that's just the way it is. I guess the fact that it's 600 volts is not a big deal. I mean, I guess the only thing that would be a problem would be an insulation breakdown, because it's a very low current. I mean, that 1 meg resistor that's actually enclosed inside that heat shrink right there limits the amount of current that goes through that thing anyway. Frankly, I don't know how long it takes to charge up the capacitor. I don't know if you're supposed to hold it there for a sec. I mean, capacitor is a 0.27. I mean, that's a fairly heavy load through a 1 meg. I guess I could sit down and do some calculating and figure out how long that would take to charge up. But anyway, it is what it is. It's working much better now, and I'm happy I can finally put this thing all back together and just enjoy it. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.
Safe to store
Here it is all put back together. Screen's nice and bright. Got a good darkness here. Got good color.
I really should have followed the GPS.
Got nice facial tones. Overall, I'm very pleased with this setup. Came out really, really well. I'll try to cover up some of the reflections here so you get a better appreciation for it.
Infinity inspired performance. Traveling, you definitely end up meeting a lot more people, but a friend
Here's some
underwater
nice video to check out.
is something completely different. I met a turtle friend today, so you don't get that very
Anyway,
often.
this is all the. I'll pop the degausser and maybe you can see it. I don't know. I'm going to turn the volume down so you can hear it. Go over here, grab the back side, charging, and try it again. One more time. I heard it that time, went ting. The convergence looks good. You see a tiny little bit of red here, tiny little bit of blue there. But overall, one good way to test it is you just turn the color down and look for any kind of fringing. That looks pretty good. Usually a black and white program is best for this kind of stuff. There you go. Turn it back up.
Doing nothing is de facto
Anyway, that's it all completed.
We have now. But conservatives
I'm going to the next.
secure the border first.
Going to the next one.
And illegal
Oh, there's the
migrants
green.
must learn English, pay fines, and go to the back of the line. Tell
Anyway,
Congress doing nothing.
Completed portacolor, new CRT, fixed,
Secure our borders
switch, all good to go.
The immigration
Thank you very much.